Welcome to the Jeep Lawn Resources video tour of the Mead Powerline Road. This road is in the Lake Mead National Rec area in southern Nevada. Let's go to the start of the road. This road runs along the west side of Lake Mojave and gives some opportunities for enjoying that lake. You'll notice from this view that the road starts just inside the toll booth, so you can't get to it from this end without paying the fee to get into the rec area. Moving along, we get to the first turnoff, which leads to 6 Mile Cove. This is by far the most easily accessible and also the most visited. The road's very straightforward and simple. If you look at the picture that I've got on the screen now, you can see that it is not difficult to get to. You really don't need four-wheel drive or high clearance at this point. Moving along, we come to a large rock sticking out of the floor of the desert. The power line goes right over the top of it. We have to go around through here. It's a little sandier, but still not a difficult drive. Goes straight again, and you can see the road starts moving around to accommodate the typology. Even though the power line goes straight, we get to this area here, which is the intersection to the next road, which is the Mid-Basin Cove Road. Moving along, we get to the intersection with the next road after that, which is the Tamarisk Cove Road. Tamarisk is a noxious weed that grows on the banks of Lake Mead and Lake Mojave. Not something I'd want to name something after. Moving along, we get to the next road that goes down to a cove, 9 Mile Cove. This is actually my favorite. It's got a nice little beach area and has facilities, which is nice. Also makes it a little more popular. Further on is the Nellis Cove Road. After you get through here, the road gets a little more interesting, starts going up and down bigger hills, and as you look at this picture here, you can see something that's typical of this area of the road. A lot more fun to drive on, but depending on conditions could be much more difficult. The road itself is still pretty smooth. There's a couple areas where there's some loose traction and steep grades. We'll look at the profile, the altitude profile at the end. Here's the turnoff for Sandy Wash. This is also another approach down to the lake. Just up the road from that is the turnoff to Empire Wash Road, which goes to the right towards the booming metropolis of Calnavari. Again, as we move along through here, you see it goes up and down a bunch of washes. If we look at this picture, you can see something that's typical of that area. Coming back to the map, you can see that this takes you down to the base of the Spirit Mountains, which are very rocky, very rugged, and beautiful in their own way. This runs along the base of those mountains until the road ends. And as you can see in this picture, there really isn't at least last time I visited, there really wasn't anything to stop you from continuing to go. And as we go back to the Google Earth view, you can see that the road does continue beyond here. However, it is closed, and there's a chance that you'll be fined if you try to spend too much time down there. Going back to the overall view, it's about a 20-mile road, and I'll go ahead and open up the elevation profile for it. It starts out at 2,200 feet, just over 2,200 feet, and it goes downhill pretty much in a smooth profile until you get to that rock, and then it gains a little back and continues to go back down. And as the terrain gets a little more varied, you start to see little ups and downs, but it's pretty much downhill until you get down to Nellis Wash. Once you get into Nellis Wash, then you start heading back up. Gets a little more rugged, a little more fun to drive, a little more up and down. Drops back down to get into Sandy Wash. It comes back up to where you get to the Empire Wash Road on top of a ridge, and then from there there's a lot of up and downs until you get down to the foot of the Spirit Mountains and along that area, and then the road ends at about 810 feet. So you end up losing a considerable amount, almost 1,400, 1,300, 1,400 feet, but that's over 20 miles. So while there are a couple of areas that are fairly steep, most of it's not too bad. I hope you enjoy the site. We'll be exploring more roads in the area and in southern Nevada and northern Arizona and California in the coming days and weeks. Please visit the site for updates. Thanks.